it get worse for Jeff Lebby in year 2 at Mississippi State? I don't think so. And I say that with good conscience because if it does, there will not be a year 3. Last season, the Bulldogs went 2-10. They lost to a group of 5 school at home by double digits, didn't win a single conference game, and had one of the worst defenses in SEC history. So yeah, bar really low, which means the only place to go is up, which they did through the transfer portal, brought in some high-profile names, and while this may not be a bowl-eligible roster, the Bulldogs will have more bite in Starkville in 2025. But could they surprise some people and maybe be this year's sleeper team? If so, these 3 bowl predictions are going to have to happen. So what's going on, Mississippi State fans? Welcome on into SEC Unfiltered. It's Cole Thompson here. Like the video, hit subscribe, and make sure that you tell everybody in Bulldog Nation about this channel because we're talking college football every single day. Download the podcast version of the show wherever you get your podcast listening systems. Make sure that you're following us on social media at SEC Unfiltered and check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. And as always, we're proudly fueled by our friends over at FANDUEL. Go to FANDUEL.com/SECU and join today. Get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. So if you want to hammer the win total for the Bulldogs in 2025, do so at FANDUEL.com/SECU. Don't miss out on the action today. Bowl prediction number 1. And by the way, when I say bold, they're supposed to be bold. So when I'm right, you come back here and say, Cole Thompson told you first. And when I'm wrong, you say, well, it was a bold prediction. It really wasn't supposed to come true anyways. Bowl prediction number 1. I think Mississippi State finishes top 5 in the SEC in rushing this year. Now, last season, I liked the run game. I thought Davin Booth did a very good job as the lead back. He averaged roughly around 5 yards a play, 5 touchdowns. They had a good deal with Johnny Daniels as your secondary element. Well, now you're getting a little bit better because Fluff Bothwell is coming on in from South Alabama. And he already has played in the system where it's a 2 running back tandem. Last season for the Jaguars, 7.5 yards a play, 832 yards, 13 total touchdowns. And he has the juice, the torque, and the lower center of gravity to win his one-on-one battles. So now that gets to be your secondary element that you pair alongside with Davin Booth. And maybe both of these guys don't rush for 1,000 yards, and maybe they have to split carries, and there's some games that you see more of Fluff Bothwell. There's some games that you see more of Davin Booth. But I think that when you look at this tandem and what they can do, how they can respond together, how they can counteract each other, especially on early downs to set up Blake Shapen or whoever it may be in a good situation to actually be successful in the passing attack. This is something that I think was missing last year at times for Jeff Lebby. The thing that you need to know about a Lebby offense is if you want it to work to a T, there has to be an emphasis on the run game. They love going vertical and they love running the football. I think Davin Booth with another year in the system is going to do pretty well. He may be the guy that we see go for over 1,000 yards. I definitely think that Fluff Bothwell is going to do really well. In fact, I would say Fluff Bothwell was, if not a top 10 player for me that joined the SEC via the transfer portal this offseason, he was in the running for the first name off the list. And Lebby had an entire spring to kind of go ahead and show them the ropes. That is a good step in the right direction to take pressure off of Blake Shapen, take pressure off of Luke Kromenhoek, take pressure off of the passing game, and kind of milk the clock a little bit. So when you're up by, say, 7 points going into the fourth quarter, and you just need to go ahead and have the offense take a little bit of time away, you can do so with Davin Booth. And if Booth doesn't get the job done, Bothwell best believe will. So I'm really high on this rushing attack. They're going to be one of the sneaky under-the-radar ones as a unit. I can see them averaging anywhere between 135 and 150 yards per game. The two of them could really help set the tone for the Bulldogs offense this upcoming fall. Bold prediction number 2 is that, yes, believe it or not, it will get better for Mississippi State. Because like I said, they went 0-8 in conference play last year. They will win at least one conference game. Now, what is that conference game? And you're probably saying to yourself, of course they're going to win one. But then you look at the schedule and you have yourself some questions. Because you do have to go play at Texas A&M and at Florida and at Arkansas and at Missouri. And you do get to welcome in Ole Miss at the end of the year. But what if Ole Miss is better than advertised? What if they look like the roster that Lane Kiffin kind of envisioned last year that should have been in the college football playoff? And it's because of great quarterback play with Austin Simmons and great wide receiver play and a solid defensive line that really didn't miss a beat. But what if also Tennessee isn't up to par? What if Tennessee, a team that at least last season, you kind of had some success with at times, kind of close for a little bit before they kind of pulled away, 33-14. What if Joey Aguilar isn't up to speed? What if the wide receivers are still dropping balls left and right? What if there's an inconsistency in the secondary and you get Blake Shapen to turn into circa 2021 Big 12 championship, 21 completions in a row version of Blake Shapen, the guy that you initially thought was coming to Starkville to work alongside with Jeff Lebby? And what if the rushing attack is just really good that afternoon and you're finding holes and creases and you're pile driving forward for an easy first down and you're milking that clock and you get that big turnover? And in Rocky Top, they're rolling tears because of you have a win. It's your first one in conference play. And that's the momentum that you need to maybe carry that on into the next several weeks. Whenever you have to face off against Florida, you got to go play Texas A&M. You got to go play Texas or Arkansas. And maybe you get a secondary win. Maybe Arkansas is that game. Sam Pittman may have already been out of a job. They may have made a change at quarterback from Taylon Green to the next guy up. There may be no hope in Fayetteville, and you just kind of sick the soul out of it one more time and go, hey, we actually have an identity with this team. So I think that we're going to win football games. I think that we're going to be pretty good. I predict at least one game you will see Mississippi State winning conference play. If I were to be a betting man right now, I'd probably lean Arkansas, but maybe it is against Missouri at the end of the year. No idea what that entire roster is going to look like this fall. You will win one conference game. So it will get better for Jeff Lebby this year. Hey, you're not going 0-8. You may go 1-7, but 1-7 certainly is a good starting place for year 3 than a brand new starting over for whoever has to take this job. And bold prediction number 3, I think Zach Selman is going to be named the next athletic director at Oklahoma, in place of Joe Castiglione. I do believe that. But I also believe that because of the way that this offense looks, because I think they're going to be a top 50 scoring offense this year, I'm very high on what I think that this team could be. Jeff Lebby is back for year 3. They're probably going to go either 2-10 or 3-9. That would be my bold prediction right now. You don't get that many wins. Arizona State still is Arizona State. Whether or not they got to come to Starkville, it's still going to be a daunting task. You beating Southern Miss, Alcorn State, Northern Illinois, get those 3 wins, and then one conference win, 4-8. It's a step in the right direction where they say, we got our guy. And then you go big in the portal next offseason. You feel good about the quarterback position long-term with Luke Kromenhoek, who I do think is going to play at least one game to kind of get his feet kind of wet. I do think that there will be one wide receiver that you really trust. Is it going to be Anthony Evans? Maybe. Brennan Thompson? Should be, because of just his overall role that he had when he was with Jeff Lebby during his time at Oklahoma. Could it be Cam Thompson from Northern Illinois? Who's to say? Could it be A.J. Lewis, the freshman that you added on in? Maybe. But I think that there will be a couple of breakout players to where going into 2026, you know you're going to be a bowl-eligible team. Can you be a dangerous team? Can this offense be one step better with having a running back like Fluff Bothwell? Can it be one step more complete by knowing that the offensive line feels pretty good? Whether it be with the guys that you have waiting in the wings, or maybe it's a guy like Luke Works stepping on up at your left tackle spot and he then stays and doesn't enter the transfer portal. That's where I feel Mississippi State's going to be. I think that they're also going to be in almost every single SEC game outside of 3. I don't think they're going to be in it against Texas A&M. I don't think they're going to be in it against Texas. I don't think they're going to be in it against Georgia. But everyone else, I think it's going to be a close call. I think the Florida game is going to be one that where maybe you could see an early lead, and then you got to watch DJ Lagway march his way back. I think definitely in the Tennessee game, it's going to be a close call for at least a half, if not 3 quarters. Arkansas, I could see you easily winning that game. Missouri, we don't know what to make of this new offense headlined by Bo Pabula and Kirby Moore. So you're going to be in every game. So even though Zach Selman does leave it, a new athletic director comes on in, he sees the vision with Jeff Lebby. He sees what the future entails. And you may say, okay, well, you got to get rid of your defense coordinator and bring in someone else. You'll live with that. You'll put yourself in a pretty good position. But I think Jeff Lebby's back in year 3. I think the overall offensive identity is going to be so much stronger this year. And I think that you're going to win a couple of games and definitely be in most SEC games to where you don't have to worry about job security, Lebby. You don't have to worry about a new head coach, Bulldog Nation. You got your dude. The cowbells are clinging. You have a good identity going into next fall. And who knows? Maybe the offense that we all envisioned when Jeff Lebby got the job, it starts to come together, which puts a really big fear in the rest of the SEC defensive coordinators for 2026 and beyond. Not 2025, but 2026. 4-8, not off the table. Definitely not off the table if you can find a way to pull off an upset win. and also not lose to a MAC school like Northern Illinois, or worse, a Sunbelt school like Southern Miss, who may have a new head coach, but still has one of the worst rosters that we could talk about in all of Sunbelt football. But let me know in the comment section down below, what's your overall thoughts for Mississippi State going into 2025? What's your bold predictions? Like, review, hit subscribe. Make sure that you're following us on all social media at Mr. Cole Thompson. Check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. Subscribe on over to SEC Unfiltered on social media and go over to FANDUEL.com/SECU. Join today in the madness. Make sure that you get your bets in now on Mississippi State. That way you don't miss out on any of the action. Until next time, folks, I am Cole Thompson. Bulldog Nation, Hail State, and just remember, it's all going to be worth it come 2026. Bye.